Alright, what is up, you guys? I'm here with an idea I had of doing my top 10 favorite and least favorite pay per views of all time. But I figured I would break it down by decade and then take all of them and make one giant list at the end. So, first, I'm doing the 2010s, and I'm going to do the least favorite and favorite for every decade. So, I was going to do every era, but that just kind of it's a little convoluted lately with eras like the reality era and stuff like that. So I figured I would just do decades. So, my top 5 favorite pay-per-views from 2010 to 2018. Number 5, Royal Rumble 2017. My favorite match of 2017 was AJ Styles and John Cena. They absolutely killed it. Kevin Owens and Roman Reigns had a good match. We had a pretty good Royal Rumble, very star-studded. You had Goldberg, Undertaker, you had Brock in there. And overall, I just thought this was a really it was a good step, building towards WrestleMania. And I thought this was a great pay-per-view. Next up, this has got to be on everyone's list. 2012 edition of Extreme Rules. I was not the biggest fan of WrestleMania 28. I thought it was a very average pay-per-view. You had a few good matches, but some of it was just kind of filler. But this was a great follow-up to WrestleMania. You had Brock Lesnar versus John Cena, which was a phenomenal main event. I love that match. And I'm not a Brock Lesnar fan, but I do love this match. And you had CM Punk and Chris Jericho, great match. Chicago Street Fight. You had Daniel Bryan and Sheamus finally getting some time to shine after being snubbed 2 years in a row at WrestleMania. And, even the opening matches were great. Kane and Randy Orton had a really good Falls Count Anywhere match. Overall, this was just a really win pay-per-view. They really nailed it at a time that I think they needed to. Next up, we have WrestleMania 30. And this one was just such a great story. Say what you want. If you're a Daniel Bryan fan, cool. If you're not, whatever. But I thought this, from an unbiased opinion, this was a great story. Whether or not you enjoyed Daniel Bryan or not. And I am a Daniel Bryan fan. I don't like what they're currently doing with him, but back then, he was on top of the world, and it was great to be a part of that. I don't agree with the streak ending the way it did. It made for an epic moment, even shocking. There's very few times that I can be shocked during a wrestling pay-per-view, and this was definitely one of them. No one saw that coming. So, overall, you had great quality matches. You had a phenomenal opening match and a phenomenal main event. You had the Shield looking better than ever. Just overall, awesome pay-per-view. And say what you want about Hogan, but seeing Hulk Hogan, The Rock, and Stone Cold in the ring together, that just gives you chills. I get chills watching that to this day. Number 2, we have Money in the Bank 2011. It's no secret that CM Punk is my favorite wrestler of all time. And this pay-per-view was just so cool to be a part of. Going in, like I said, it was like WrestleMania 30. It had a great story. WrestleMania 30 was a little more predictable, and this one wasn't. You didn't know what was going to happen. You didn't know if he was signed. You didn't know if he was going to walk out champion. I was like, of course they're not going to have CM Punk win. Unless he signed, So, in PG era WWE, you were expecting John Cena to go over in a good match with CM Punk. That's really what I expected. I expected a good match. Not all Cena's matches were good back then. But, I just expected a good match out of this, good effort, but John Cena to go over. And I was just shocked, once again, to see the ending. And it was just amazing. I love just the attitude of CM Punk going out, kissing Vince McMahon goodbye, blowing him a kiss, and going through the crowd in Chicago. And I don't think anything gives me the chills more than CM Punk's entrance at this event. Like, that did it. That just an epic moment. And you also had two pretty good Money in the Bank ladder matches. And you had Christian and Randy Orton. You know, they had a great feud during 2011. A very underrated feud to this day. So they had a good match. And overall, this was just a great pay-per-view. It was just such an electric crowd and environment. And number one, WrestleMania 31. This is one of my all-time favorite WrestleManias. I'd probably put it somewhere in my top 5. Nothing will ever beat WrestleMania 19 as my favorite. I guarantee it. But 31 comes close because this is one of those pay-per-views where I was like, wow, this is going to be shit. And a lot of people said that, and we were proven wrong. The main event was great. You know, Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns at one point had a great match, even before Seth Rollins came in. And then, of course, Seth Rollins was just the cherry on top. You know, he came in, cashed in, made for an awesome moment, and a really kind of happy ending, like WrestleMania 30. So, you know, it's always good to close your show out with a happy ending like that, especially WrestleMania. Like WrestleMania 32, when everyone's booing, that's not a way to close out your show. It's really not. But you had Sting in his first match in WWE. Obviously, I'm not a fan of the booking of that, but I understand why it had to happen like that. You know, John Cena, Rusev had a decent U.S. title match. And that was another good thing. The mid-card titles really were elevated. So you really have to give him credit for that. You know, Daniel Bryan winning the Intercontinental title in a great ladder match. Just a really great opening match there. And overall, I really dig this pay-per-view. And it was kind of a breath of fresh air because a lot of people thought this was going to suck. And even I'll admit, I was wrong. You know? So let me know what your top 5 favorite pay-per-views are. And of course, I'll be doing my least favorite then as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed. For now, this has been the DVD Freak. Peace out.